gonna go ahead and quit this one. Couple things this week. One, Thursday we're gonna have a quiz. I'm sorry it's on Halloween. I don't want to have it on November 1st because I feel like that's wrong too. Yes. You what? Boo, Lizzie. Okay. So, quiz on Thursday. Your Unit 6 adulting project is due November 1st. It's been on the board. You can turn it now. Like if it's done, turn it in. Be done. There should be one. If there's not one, let me know. Is it on there? Okay. So unit 7 will be due like a week after that. I'll put the date on the board after. I'm going to give you time in class to work on it, so don't worry about it. Tomorrow is the 4 hours of tomfoolery. Okay, really quick. Okay, this unit. Okay, this unit is a little hard because you are not close to your retiring age. You really don't have a job that you probably have a 401k or whatever to kind of figure out. Hold on, let me give you a pass. Okay, so I feel like this unit in particular is a little challenging. Thanks, babe. So with that being said, I need you to pay attention because there's a lot of vocab that you might miss out. Okay, so retirement, yay, is when you leave the workforce and you live off of your savings and investment. In the United States, the traditional retirement age is 65. Here's the deal. If you look up the median traditional average age, yeah. If you looked up the median, it would be 62. Not gonna miss it. If you look it up, it's 62. For financial planners, they use the number 59 and a half. But when we're just generally talking, it's 65. Okay, it's roughly 65. Because if you're a teacher, it's either you're 65 or 30 years in the service. So for instance, I started teaching when I was 22. I get to retire when I'm 52. So the earlier you start working, the longer you stay in your career, the better your retirement is going to be. Cool? Everybody understand? You want to invest in retirement earlier on so that it pays off more. Good? Okay. A qualified retirement plan refers to an employer-sponsored retirement plan that satisfy requirements in the Internal Revenue Code for receiving tax-deferred treatment. What this is saying is that not every business offers you a retirement plan, okay? They have to have a qualified retirement plan, okay? This is just to kind of like protect you as an employee, so they're not just taking your money and then you're hoping that you have a retirement plan, but then you really don't. So this is a qualified retirement plan, okay? A defined benefit plan promises a specified monthly benefit at retirement. So this is like your people who say, oh my gosh, I can't wait till retirement because I'll get paid every month what I'm making currently plus X amount. Yes? So the plan may state that this promised benefit as an exact dollar amount, or it may calculate a benefit through a plan formula. So this is like a pension fund. Okay, pensions are what firefighters get, what paramedics get, what a lot of electricians and plumbers get. Pension is what that is. Pension fund. The benefits is in most traditional defined benefit plans are protected by federal insurance as well. Okay, so in a defined contribution plan, the employee or employer contribute to the employee's individual account. But these contributions generally are invested on the employer's behalf. The value of the account will fluctuate due to the changes in the value of the investment. So these are your 401ks, your 403bs, your 457s. Okay, this is what most, yes, 401k, 403B, and 457. Is that what you're asking? Yes. Sorry. What's up? We're about to talk about it. 401k, 403B, and 457. Yep. Okay, so let's watch this video, which will answer the differences between these three. While you're watching this video, y'all need to make sure that you are taking notes on the differences between these two. Hold on. Not there. Okay, ready? Looks really weird. He looks like a financial planner. That too, a robot. Sorry, that was mean. But exact.
I mean, at the same time, what I appreciate this is like it was really straightforward. Like you could have
That is true. That is true. All right. So what is the difference between 401k, 403b, and 457? Okay. 403b has many choices. Okay, so this was one choice, right? And then this is many choices. So options to invest. So there's like Liberty Mutual, there's Fidelity, there's all these different companies that you can invest in. If you have a 401k, it's normally, hey, you have to invest in this one place. So like, hey, we're a company and we want you to invest in this. Yep. 457. What's going on there? Matches on top of the 403b. So what was the 403b? They said the employer does what? No, more, what else? So it matches on top right here. Okay. 403B. Talk to me about that. Penalties, as many plan choices. It has penalties. So, retirement plan. Retirement plan means that it's the money that you're going to use for when you retire. However, you can take it out earlier. If you take it out earlier, yes, there's a penalty. Okay, so that's what they're talking about with these little penalties. Sometimes people take out of their retirement and they put a down payment on a car. Sometimes they do it for a house. Maybe they're in financial trouble and they just need money right now. Okay, there's a couple of different ways that you can use your retirement plan, but you don't get as much money if you pull it out earlier than 59 years and a half. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, cool. Y'all are not nodding. Y'all are meh. Huh? Kind of like squirreling away money and then hoping that you invested it in the right thing by the time you're 65. I just work here. Okay, what about 401k? What did it say?
I was painted and how they have nothing. Yeah. What does it mean by matching?
So let's say you work for me, you invest into your 401k, whatever you put in, I will match that amount.
Yeah.
Like I will put in, like you put in $50, I'll put in $50.
Oh,
That's what that means. Cool. Normally that doesn't happen until like 10 years into whatever career you're doing. So for instance, teaching, I'm on year 8. I am not vested yet. Year 10 is when I'm vested. That's when they start putting in more money into my account, right? So if I quit my job and I leave, I'll have a little bit of a retirement, but I won't have as much as I possibly could at year 10. Does that make sense? Yes, no.
when's your birthday?
November 23rd.
It's coming up.
It is.
30?
I'll be 31. I'll be 31.
I thought this was four. I thought you were just four.
Oh, this is year 8. Okay. 457. Anything else we want to mention on that one?
Able to go.
Able to. So, like, if you know you're not good at planning ahead, okay, and you know that you like to do sporadic things, 457 is pretty good for you because you could take out money whenever you want, right? Yes, without penalty. Okay, so we've got other types of retirements. We've got Roth IRA and traditional IRA. What does IRA stand for? IRA stands for can't write. Nope. Hold on. It's an individual retirement account. And I don't know how that's supposed to all fit in that tiny little line, but it's fine. Individual retirement account. We're going to fill in these little blanks in a second. A Roth IRA is a tax advantage personal savings plan. Okay, and the best way to describe the difference between a traditional and a Roth is this. A traditional is where you are taxed up front. A Roth is where you're taxed after the fact. Okay. Well, we're gonna look at an example in just a second. Okay. So we're gonna watch this video really quick, and then we're gonna talk about it in just a second because I know this stuff is a little foreign to y'all. When he says seed and crops, he's talking about now when you currently invest versus when you turn 65 and you're old. Makes sense? All right, when we get back, I'll summarize what he just said. All right. In a little bit. The guy was like, the difference between traditional versus Roth IRA. I think this probably explains it best. So for traditional, you get your tax break up front and no paid taxes on the money until you withdraw it. So when you take it out of the account after you turn 59 and a half, whatever the number is, right? That's when you're going to get taxed. A Roth IRA is when you deposit money, you've already been taxed on that money. And then when you retire, then you won't be taxed anymore. Okay? So there's the difference. You get taxed now or you get taxed later. Okay? So coming back to this little statement, this is a weird statement in general. Okay? So a traditional IRA is a tax advantage personal savings plan where qualified contributions are not taxed, but distributions are taxed. Okay, so going back again to this little statement picture thing that we just talked about, you contribute money, but at the end, your distributions, that's what's coming out, that is what is taxed. Okay, Roth IRA is the other way around. Okay, so Roth is where your distributions, your contributions are not taxed, but your distributions are taxed. There we go. Okay.
First one, right? Contributions.
Yep. Same words. Okay. The difference is when you get taxed. Roth, you're taxed up front. You don't get taxed when you retire. Traditional, you don't get taxed up front, but you get taxed when you retire. So it's all about when you get taxed. Contributions and distributions. Contributions and distributions. I got a little lazy. Okay. All right, so let's think about it. Your friend Jenny says a Roth IRA has the best tax advantages. Okay, because you pay your taxes now and won't have to pay them when you take the money out in retirement. Why might she be right?
Morning.
Morning.
Can I please have Priscilla B for checkout?
She's not in here yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. That's always awkward. Okay, so your friend Jenny says a Roth IRA is the best tax advantages because you pay your taxes now and then you don't have to pay them when you retire. So why might she be right? So if you are paying your taxes now, that means that at the start of your retirement, you might be in a higher tax bracket. So what that means is that like right now, you're probably not making as much money as you're making less money now, which means that you're at a lower tax bracket now. So it would be better to be taxed now than it would be when you are retiring and you have more money, which means that you're at a higher tax bracket. Does that make sense? So here it is again. Right now, you're not making as much money as what you would make when you retire. So you want to be taxed at the lower level because if you're taxed up here, you get less money. Make sense? Okay, so that's the perk of the Roth IRA. You get taxed earlier on so that you get to keep your money when you retire. Cool. Okay. Now, your friend Jermaine says a traditional IRA or 401k has the best tax advantage because you don't have to pay any taxes now, and you can wait until you're retired to pay those taxes. Why might he be right? Well, think about it. If you make a ton of money right now, and you're going to make a ton of money when you retire, then traditional IRA is probably the best thing for you. Because then you don't have to pay any taxes now, you just pay them when you retire. You're already probably going to have that money saved up anyways, right? So you're already at a high tax bracket. If you make a lot of money. But again, that depends on your job. Like I personally will not do a traditional IRA. Yeah. All right. Your friend Sonia says a 401k is the best retirement option because they offer you free money. What does she mean by this? Go back to your 401k, the little chart, okay, and tell me what were the 3 things that they mentioned in the video. May have matching. So matching is free money. And just like the example I used earlier, if you pay in $50, I'm going to pay in $50 as your employer, okay, or a percentage of it. Now, Vladimir currently works part-time at a sandwich shop, while he's also trying to launch his career as a high-end barber. Do you think traditional or Roth would be a better option for him right now? How much do sandwich shop makers make? Like probably your minimum wage, right? Okay, so maybe not that much. What about barbers? Starting out barbers. Again, probably not that much, right? So would traditional be good or would Roth be better? Why?
I'm just making too much money right now, so maybe it's better to maybe start
Hmm. But wouldn't it be better for him to be in a lower tax bracket now? Because like you're gonna pay taxes either way, right? So I think a better option would be Roth because he would be in a lower tax bracket. Because like also think about it this way. What's the likelihood of him making like a fortune before he retires? Probably not that much. I mean, I don't know what the average income for a barber is, so I'm just kind of speaking from not much of experience. But probably not making as much, so we got a lower tax bracket. It's right here. Hey, they just called you for checkup. Let's do it. Yep. Looking at the different factors. Okay, so you're not always eligible for a Roth IRA, or you're not always eligible for whatever.
Morning.
Hey.
Hi, we're trying to locate students at Celia Bradley from Relay.
So she just walked in here and I sent her to the front office.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Okay, so nothing about the account changes even if you switch jobs. That's going to be your traditional and your Roth IRA. Okay, your pension normally doesn't follow you. Okay, your 401k normally doesn't follow you. So if I am a firefighter and I get a pension and then I decide to go become a teacher, it doesn't follow me. Like I lose out on that pension if I haven't finished like the requirements for it. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe. Okay. Eligibility may be affected by how long you work with a given company. That's going to be your pension and your 401k. The 401k is what we have as teachers. I have to be vested for 10 years. before I start like getting the benefits from it. Yeah. All employers offer this type of account. None of them. Okay. Not all employers offer a pension. Not all employers offer a 401k. Not all employers offer an IRA. Does that make sense? Okay. Taxes. The money you put into this retirement account has already had taxes taken out of it. That's going to be your Roth IRA. And then these three are once you retire, you have to pay taxes on it. So here's the thing that sucks when you get old. You hit 65, you retire. You take your money out of your 401k, your pension, or your traditional IRA. Boom, you just got hit with a ton of taxes. So your first year as a retired person, you just paid a heap sum of taxes. That kind of sucks, right? And you're no longer working, so you can't make extra money unless you go get a part-time job, which is where most people who have those types of plans have to go do like a little side gig or whatever, right? Make sense? You have to plan accordingly. Contributions. So your company may contribute funds towards your retirement. That is going to be your pension and your 401k. Any contributions you make come directly from your paycheck. That's going to be your pension and your 401k. So it's really sick how they do this. And sick in not a good way. So you work, and when you work, they take out some of your funds to put it away for you so that you have it when you turn 65. But when you turn 65, sometimes it gets taxed. So the money that you just made, somebody took out of your paycheck to put it away for you. But then now you're having to pay someone else for the money that you just worked. Yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, but if you don't do it, then you don't have the benefits from it, which there are a little bit of benefits. All right, you make contributions from your bank account. That's going to be your Roth IRA and traditional IRA. Those are completely separate from the company. Okay. Now, investment options. Your employer has some say in how the money is invested. That's going to be your 401k and your pension. So this would mean, for instance, that if I have a pension, I can't pull out of my retirement and go blow it on a vacation. Okay. My employer probably wouldn't allow that. But if I wanted to take money out and put a down payment on a house, that might be allowed depending on what your employer says. Does that make sense? Okay. Then have some choice in your contributions and how they're invested. Those are going to be your IRAs. Okay. Receiving your benefits. Your total retirement benefit will depend on the risk level of the investment that you chose. That's going to be these last three. And then your promise of fixed benefit. That's going to be your pension and some 401ks. Not all 401ks are created equal. Okay. Something to think about when you're looking at jobs. Okay, so we haven't done a whole lot of math. We've kind of just talked about vocab and that kind of stuff. So now, math. Yay, math. Y'all look so enthusiastic. Okay, look at this formula. Where have you seen this before? It looks very similar to compound interest or the monthly payment or any of the other formulas that we've used literally this entire semester. Yeah? Okay, so B is going to be the balance at end of investment period. R is going to be the annual interest rate. N is going to be the number of times the interest is compounded annually. I haven't really seen this been done monthly. It's normally annually. Okay. Periodic, D is periodic deposit amount. So that's how much you're putting into your account every so often. And T is the length of investment in years. Okay. So we got this chick. Her name's Lucia. She earns $50,000 as a museum curator. Do you know what that is? It's the person who takes care of the stuff at the museum. That's all they do. Okay. And she is 40 years old and hasn't started saving for her retirement yet. Okay. She would like to retire at 67 when she can receive full Social Security benefits. So how much will she need in retirement? Here is the recommended amount when they do this projection. You need to know these numbers. So recommended is 75% of your salary at 3% rate of return. Okay. So the way you're going to find this is you're going to multiply X times 0.03, and you're going to set it equal to 0.75 times how much she got. So now we're going to multiply these two together and then divide by 0.03. So she'll need 1,250,000 for retirement. You ever played the game of life?
I don't know.
Okay, so like the little board game of life. Most retirements, like plans, are projected to have $1 million at when you retire. Okay. That's not saying, hey, you have $1 million in your bank account exactly when you turn 65. It's not what that's saying. That's saying, hey, the goal is to try to save up to $1 million. Okay. If Lucia decides she can set aside the recommended 10% of her salary in savings for retirement and invest in an account that averages 6% annually, how much will she have at the age of 67? So what we're going to do is we're going to use our formula from above. Okay, and we're going to plug in the information. So it says that she wants to set aside 10% of her salary in savings. Okay, so we're going to take 50,000 and multiply by 0.1. And that gets me 5,000. And now I'm going to plug into the formula. So we're going to get 5,000 times 1 plus, our rate is 0.06 divided by 1, raised to the, how many years is it? How old is she now? And then how long till she retires? So she's going from 40 to 67. So how many years is that? 27 minus 1 divided by our rate divided by n. Take a moment and plug this into your calculator. Make sure that you use those parentheses. All right, so when you plug this into your calculator, you're going to get 318,528.8. So the question is, how short is she in her savings? So what you're going to do is you're going to take how much she needed to save from number 1 minus what she got in number 2. And that's going to give her roughly 931,471. 931,471. And we could round this up. We can round up. Everybody see it? Everybody understand? If she increased her saving rate to 15%, how short will she be? So we're going to do the exact same thing, but now instead of 5,000, we're going to use 0.15 times 50,000 for our initial. Okay, take a second, see if you can try that one. when you do this one, you're going to take 0.15 and multiply it by 50,000. And that's going to give you 7,500. 7,500 is what you're going to deposit periodically. So like almost every year. Okay. So we're going to plug that into our formula. 7,500 times 1 plus 0.06 divided by 1. We're going to raise it to 27th power minus 1. We're going to divide it by 0.06 divided by 1. When we do that, we're going to get 477,000. 477,793.24. How short will she be? Well, if you take that 1,250,000 and subtract what you just got, what do you get? That's going to give me $772,206, roughly. So she'll be short this much. So is it really reasonable for her to work like 27 years? No, because she started investing when she was 40, right? So what percent must she save from her current income to meet her recommended retirement goal? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to solve for B in this situation. So we're going to set this equal to 1,250,000 is equal to B times 1 plus our R was 0.06 divided by 1 raised to the 27th power minus 1 divided by 0.06 divided by 1. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 1,250,000 and then divide by all this junk. Take a second and try that one. When you plug this in and you solve for B, that's going to give you 19621.46. That's how much she has to save every year. But she's only making $50,000. So she's saving almost half of her paycheck in order to retire. This is 39.24% of her income. Yep. So I took this number and divided it by everything on this side, except the B.
It's been like public question, just like how, like, you are
Did you change B to X and then zoom out or zoom in?
I did, I got like 15, 55, 87.
Did you use your parentheses?
Yeah.
Did you do 0.06?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay. If Lucia delays her retirement for 3 years and waits until she's 70, what percent does she need to save to meet her recommended retirement goal? Okay, so what you're going to do on this one is we're just going to change the number that's in the exponent. So we said that b is equal to 5,000 times 1 plus 0.06 divided by 1 raised to the 30th power, because 27 plus 3 gives us 30. Make sure that you use your parentheses. We're going to divide it by 0.06. When we type this into our calculator, oops, JK. These should be switched. 50,000. We're trying to figure out how much she's going to invest, right? So when we solve for B, we're going to have 15,811.14. And then it asked us for the percent. So we're going to say 15,811.14 divided by 50,000. And that's going to be roughly 32%. So why is it so difficult for Lucia to meet her retirement savings goal? She started late. Okay, so it's a good idea to start early. Okay. All right, go ahead and take a moment. I want you to try Daniel. So scenario 2. She makes $75,000 a year as a clinical psychologist. Is 28 years old and hasn't started savings for retirement yet. Would like to retire at 67. Earn 6% annually from her retirement account. So how much will she need to retire? So when you do this, remember we've got to figure out that 0.03 times x equals 0.75 of her $75,000. We're going to solve for x. And when we solve for x, that's going to give me 1,875,000. Questions on how I did that? So if Angelica decides to save at a 15% savings rate, how much will she have at age 67? So age 67 minus her 28 years old, she's got 39 years before she retires. So we're going to say B is equal to 11,250 times 1.06, because that's 1 plus 0.06. And we're going to raise it to the 39th power. Subtract 1. And we're going to divide by 0.06. When we do that, that's going to give us $1,631,907.65. So how short is her savings? Should have done the first one minus the second one. So 1,875,000 minus 1,631,907.65. When you subtract those two, you're going to get 243,092, roughly. Questions on that one? Okay, you tried Daniel. I promise we're almost done. All right, so how much will he need in retirement? So you're going to do 0.03 times x is equal to 0.75 of how much they make. And then you're going to solve for x. So when you solve for x, that's 1,125,000. JK. Yeah, 45. So when we do this, remember we want 75% of our salary. Okay. Now, if Daniel decides he can't set aside 15% of his salary in savings for retirement, how much will he have at age 67? So if we do 15% of 45,000. That's going to give me 6,750. So now we're going to plug into our formula. So we get 6,750 times 1 plus, our rate is 0.06 divided by 1 raised to the 45th power minus 1. That 45 comes from 67 minus 22. And then we're going to divide it by 0.06 divided by 1. When we put that in, we're going to get $1,436,019. So look at what happened. He's making more than what he really needs. Okay? Notice how he started when he was 22. When he started at 22, guess what? He has more than enough. Okay? Should he save less than 15% each month? Yes. Okay? He has more than enough. Than needed. So he has more than needed. So he can save less than 15%. Okay, he could probably do about 12 or 10%. Everybody okay? Okay. Go ahead and flip that page. We got 2 more questions. So Angelica and Daniel are cousins, are discussing their retirement goals. Here are some things they're wondering. With the same percentage, why does Daniel have more than enough and Angelica comes up short? What was the difference between those two? Okay, so he started earlier. So Daniel started earlier. Here's another question. Why will you need slightly more income in each year of your retirement? What happens when you get old? What do your grandparents always talk about? How many pills they're taking, how everything aches. Yeah. So they go to the doctor more. So your expenses increase, specifically medical. Okay, so your medical expenses go up, right? And that makes sense. Like you're getting sick more easily, you're kind of slowing down. You've got to go to this doctor that you didn't even know existed until now. The whole thing. Okay, cool. All right, again, I know I just slapped you with a lot of information. I don't expect you to know it today, but I do expect you to eventually know it. Thursday, we're having a quiz over this stuff and the stuff we're learning Wednesday. Okay. Tomorrow, remember you're working on your Adulting 101 project. Right now, you can also be working on Adulting 101 project. Okay. So November 1st, your Unit 6 project is due. Okay, your Unit 7 will be due right after. We just answered majority of your Unit 7 questions. So I would go ahead and do those now while they're fresh. Okay?